He's a smooth operator. Smooth operator. Coast to coast, LA to Chicago. That's all I know.
That's all you know?
I get nervous.
Sade, man. Come on.
I like No Ordinary Love. That's a good one.
Listen. She's got a whole library, man. I'm just glad to you're someone at your age who knows who Sade is.
That's because of our father, and that was our dinner table music.
Yeah.
Believe
That's all
it or
he
not,
played
at dinner.
Just Sade or that era.
Ooh,
The most romantic music for dinner meals,
Krista Berg?
Lady in Red.
Lady.
Yeah, that was dinner music when we were growing up.
Spandau Ballet.
Yeah.
My favorite that he played was Simply Red.
Holding back the years.
That gets me in my feels.
You know what? Those guys all sound good because I've seen them do some shows recently, and they're like, "You guys are still sounding good, man."
Makes me feel like I want to turn on a bath, get some candles lit up.
No, you know? Just made you want to make love to your meal.
Yeah.
Some
Always
chicken cordon bleu. Yeah.
Always at dinner,
Yeah.
huh?
Yeah. Our mom would make the dinner, and our dad would light the candles.
And your mom never objected to the music, or it was always aside? Yeah. Really?
As long as it wasn't Tracy Chapman, she would not allow.
She a one-hit wonder, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But
I think so. She had two.
No, she was good with Pavarotti. When Pavarotti brought all the...
that's right.
And he brought on Elton John and all those guys.
But it's hard to listen to a song that's really about child abuse. And
I mean, Chris, who was it? Luke Combs did a remake to Tracy Chapman, Fast Car. Yeah, it's pretty good.
I don't think I heard that one.
It's good. Yeah, he
Is it like country?
Yeah. He did the country version of Fast Car.
I know. Tried in a Small Town is just getting all kinds of play.
Oh yeah.
With people, but not with the stations.
Oh yeah.
Which is a whole other.
But now that song is blowing up because of everybody.
I know. I kind of like how people can just stand up and go, "Well, we don't care. We don't listen to your station. We listen to it when we want to listen to it through a streaming service, man."
Yeah.
Well, what's also up with radio nowadays? Like, do people still listen to that?
Dude, you're asking the wrong guy, man. I'm on a podcast.
Yeah, you would think people listen to Spotify a lot, Apple Music.
I can only assume radio's gone down. I don't think that they have the same numbers that they had before.
There's so much more competition now, right?
Yeah.
And plus, there's so much personalities out there. If you want to get opinions about whatever it is, you listen to them instead of. And we'll go to a commercial right now every 15 minutes, right?
Yeah. Apparently, Roz and Mocha are still doing really well.
Are they?
Yeah.
Oh, that's Virgin? No, 97.
97. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't listen to radio, man.
I used to love when it was 102.1 The Edge, when they had that morning show.
Back in the 80s, man.
Great.
Back in the 80s.
It was not all this censorized shit.
You had what was that guy? I'm trying to remember the history of music or whatever. And now he's got his own podcast.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name or whatever. But I mean, that was back in the 80s when you had really good segments, right? So insane. But okay, we're not talking radio. We're talking painting.
Let's go.
Welcome back, guy. Well, welcome back, Calvin. And you
sir.
finally brought. Okay, what was the reason why you didn't come last time?
I actually deal with all the bookings and clients and everything.
You're busy.
So I deal with all. So Calvin's on site. I'm dealing with all the background stuff. So we go hand in hand. We found a lot in the industry where if you're on tools and painting and you're trying to get work, it's very difficult.
One or the other.
We made the shift, and he loves painting. He's with the guys, and he's really good with the guys. And just with all the background, I got to drive from site to site. So I do a lot of driving every day, right?
Cool. So, I mean, Calvin was here, and then we had a little technical faux pas, so we had to record it again. There was no audio coming out. It would have been great if we had subtitles for it, but I didn't know what exactly you were saying. So here we are doing a second show recording, but now you brought your brother. So now we got both bears.
That's right.
That's how it works.
Double the bears.
I don't have your deets right now, but you want to share your deets to everybody? Let everybody know how to get a hold of you guys?
Yeah, absolutely. So Instagram is Brother Bears Painting. We have our office line, which that number is 416-873-0037. And then we also have an estimating line number as well, which is 647-876-1086. And then our website right now is currently under construction. We're revamping it right now just to show a lot of our new work on there and whatnot.
It's ironic, eh? You're a construction business and your website's under
construction. Well, you're always under construction.
When's it going to be ready? 2 weeks?
Hopefully. Well, it's pretty much ready. We're just joining up because I can't remember what platform we used to make it on. So we just got to join because we use Google domains, not GoDaddy this time. Okay. But Google domains is very hard to get a hold of. It's all, you can't talk to anybody over the phone.
Because they're all AI.
Yeah.
That's what it is. All right. I want to begin with Calvin, if you could share with everybody where the name came from, because that was a very interesting story.
was an interesting
That
story.
was a very interesting story. I want to begin the show that way. And I like the name. I want to let you guys know that I like the name a lot.
Right, so I'll get right into it. Brother Bears. Me and Cameron we have a big age difference. 10 years. Well, no, sorry.
9 years, 5 months.
9 years,
Exactly.
5 months. And yeah, growing up, my mom, if you were familiar with the show, what was it? Yogi Bear and Boo Boo Bear?
Yogi
Bear.
Yogi Bear. Yeah.
Yogi Bear.
Jellystone Park.
Yeah, I remember that.
So us being such far age gap apart, my mom used to call my brother Yogi Bear and me Boo Boo Bear.
I used to babysit him when I was younger and
Made sense.
So when we were
change some
starting,
diapers.
Made sense.
when we were starting the painting company, so I got into painting.
You got into painting before he got into
No, he got me into painting.
Oh, okay.
He introduced me to painting, and then he switched to doing something else. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna stick with it.
He
So
joined the union.
I joined the union.
That's right.
I was a union man, and then
How is the union painting land?
You're still fighting to
That's
get.
good enough. That says
Yeah.
everything.
You still got to get work. It's not like it's always provided for you. With some trades, it is.
Specifically that trade, you still got to get work?
Like with companies, they'll finish a job and then you'll have to join another company. So
Okay.
So I was working there, and then I was like, this is not for me. So I went and started my own thing. And at first, I was just going to be a one solo, man that does it all.
What was the name of that company?
The modern day Picasso. Yeah.
he didn't register it yet, but
Yeah.
he was
I was
he was
thinking.
conjuring ideas in his mind.
Yeah.
Would you have gotten in trouble for using Picasso?
I don't think so, because it has the modern day in front of it. So it's a little bit different. And then,
It's kind of saying like the historic apple.
yeah.
I think I would get in trouble.
And then I did a project. I painted my cousin's apartment. That was my first job. And I think I did, the paint just wasn't, it was bleeding through all of it.
He was also going crazy because he was there by himself day
I was
in,
going
day out.
insane. My cousin would come back and be like, I want the color more solid. So I think I ended up doing like 4 coats on the walls.
When you say it was bleeding through, like what color are we finishing with here?
So it was a blue. It was a
Okay.
blue. He wanted it white.
So it was originally a blue and you're covering up the blue and you're using
white.
white and the blue was still bleeding through.
So
Yeah.
it always takes more coats if you're switching from a dark color to a light color.
Yeah, I thought you were supposed to use like a red or something like that.
So
as a base.
we'll use a primer.
Okay.
You'll just prime it white first, and then if you have to do 2 coats of primer, because primer is much cheaper than actual paint, so you'll do either 1 or 2 coats of primer. It's just based on knowledge and experience of
But
what
you
you want to
didn't
go.
know that at that time.
Didn't know that. And to add on, that made it worse, it was Chantilly lace. And everyone knows.
Every designer is picking Chantilly lace right now.
Is Chantilly
We'll,
lace
we'll get
for
into
everything.
that. We'll get into that later on.
And yeah, so I did 3 coats on the walls. 2
Of
coats
Chantilly lace, really?
Yeah, plus primer.
Aura?
So it was like,
Was
it was Sherwin-Williams. We were using
Emerald?
Sherwin-Williams.
No, weren't you using? Wasn't it Deluxe at the time?
It was Sherwin.
It was Sherwin.
It was Sherwin.
All right.
And yeah, I did 2 coats on the ceiling, 1 primer, 1, because the ceilings were blue too. It was ridiculous.
It was
Everything
it was a blue unit.
very blue.
They really loved the Blue Man Group.
Wow.
The blues.
That must have been horrific. Like, what
was
kind of blue we
terrible.
talking about here? An indigo blue? Like,
Nah, like it wasn't that bad. It was a baby blue, but still
still. Ceiling and walls?
ceiling
Trim?
and walls. Trim? No, weirdly
Trim is
enough.
white. Okay.
Weirdly enough,
Colonial trim.
colonial trim. But even that, I was
I
doing the
dislike
trim.
these people already.
I was doing the trim and it was bleeding through there. So I did 2 coats on the doors and trims, 3 coats on the walls, 2 coats on the ceilings.
Just material.
I was
Profit
going
by the
insane.
window. Gone.
So then I called my brother up and I was like, listen, I need help on this project. And then from there, boom, the rest is history. It just took
What
off.
did you do, Karen, when you came in and saw?
I was dealing with all the rolling for him because he loves to do the cutting. I like to do the rolling. You kind of find when you're in the industry, you like what you
Groove.
like. Yeah,
What you're good at.
exactly. So we stuck it out. We were there for a few more days and then we were out of there. And then after that, we joined together and I was on tools with him for a while. And then I moved on to the background work of everything just to keep everybody busy because we're about a team of 11 guys right now.
Holy.
Yeah.
Wow.
So in order to keep them busy, I got to be
Hustling.
getting work all the time out there.
So you buried the modern Picasso
Buried it.
and
Brother Bears.
got the bears out of the cave.
And then he had a friend start doing his logo at the beginning for Brother Bears.
It's a nice logo, man.
It was too much in the beginning, so we changed it where the bottom is supposed to represent like a paint can, the drips on the paint can coming down, and
I
then
totally see that. Yeah,
Brothers on top. And anybody can be a bear, so
of course.
We're all
Yeah.
bears.
Well, it depends on what part of America. Bear means something else, eh?
Does it?
You're too young.
But it just depends on what bear you are. Like, would you be a polar bear, grizzly bear? What bear?
I don't know what the exact term. I wouldn't be a polar bear. I don't want to even meet a polar bear.
yeah, no, they're aggressive.
They're the most dangerous animal out there.
Have you seen the video of the guy that traps himself in the glass
Yeah, like
box?
it's just, is it the same guy that was in the tank in the water with the shark? The
Yes.
great white that went up. Is that the same guy that was doing
Same
that?
guy, same
No,
guy.
it can't be the same guy.
I think so.
You telling me that he wants to test his life on land with a polar bear and he wants to test his life in the water with the shark?
Now he just has to go in the sky and see what happens.
Yeah, and wait for an eagle to come along and throw his talons right inside him, right?
Yeah.
That guy's probably going to get hit by a car crossing the street.
He probably made a lot of money off that.
That would be the funniest thing. You do all these dangerous things. And
Survived everything.
you're walking down your staircase in your house, you
Boom.
trip, fall, bang your head, and you're gone.
Snap your neck. I'm not wishing it. Sorry. I don't know why we went there. Okay, so that was the beginning of... Now you got 11, right?
Yeah.
Okay, now, why the love for painting? I know you expressed it on the first show that we did, but why the love for painting?
Why the love for painting?
You guys get all this shit on at the end.
We get shitted
because
on
you
by
have
everybody.
to fix
Yeah.
every other trade's details that they overlooked.
So now that's why if we're dealing with certain construction sites, if they don't have drywallers yet, I always refer them, because if I know that the drywall and the finishing is good, it makes our life easier. So a lot of the times now we like to know who's there before us.
Smart.
So therefore we don't have a headache in the end.
Smart.
It's much easier to deal with. So, and we have drywallers who also will refer us because they know when there's a couple patches left in the house, we'll take care of it for them. There's no need to have them come back for a whole day, pay their guys and do a couple patches. We'll do it. So it's about harmony with each other to help
Work as
out
a
each
team.
other and get each and every job done with quality and on time. Because if you don't have that, at the end of the day, you want to make the homeowner or the builder, whoever you're working with, at the end of the day, they got to be happy. Everybody's going to remember not necessarily the great job you did, but how were you dealing with that homeowner or client or whatever. And a lot of the times now, the first thing when we finish a job, they say it was so easy to work with you. And it's the first thing is that's what they say rather than, oh, the paint is great. Because anybody can be a painter, anybody can be a framer. Once you have the skill level, how is your customer service? How are you treating them? I come from a sales marketing background.
Yeah.
So that's my focus now on the business side of things. I did that for so long, and being in the trades, I saw everybody, they're good at their trade, but then when it came to marketing and the business side,
They're terrible.
it's terrible. But
It's all
they're
about
really
the
good.
experience. It's all about the experience that you have.
It's how you leave it.
100%.
Right. While you're there, and actually it's how you walk onto the job site, how your mood is, how you reflect, how you just courtesy. Like it's all these little things that most people in trades don't really understand how important these little things are, but they're extremely important.
Well, we did a job, and one of the coolest clients that we worked with, Jason.
Jason, yeah.
Jason's really cool. Just
Why is he a cool client?
just his attitude for everything, the understanding, right? There were some of the walls didn't blend properly, so he understood. You know, not a lot of people, they just say, get it done right now. But he was understanding of it, that it might take, you know, a couple more days to finish the job. He was super hospitable, you know, giving us water, giving us, you know, offering us snacks.
You got a Tim Hortons card too.
Yeah, he gave us a Tim Hortons card. So just a cool guy just to talk with,
He was just
shoot the
being
shit.
nice. He was being, he was respectful.
It's about respect on both sides.
Yes.
As a trade, you got to respect the fact that you're coming into somebody's house. They don't know you, and you want to get in, get out because you're burdening their life essentially. But on the flip side, homeowners and whoever need to understand that you're going to give the best quality, and that takes time and effort. And sometimes, yes, mistakes happen, and anything can be fixed. And that's why we always make sure that before we leave, are you happy with and satisfied with what we did? And again, manners go a long way. Please and thank yous, all of that, just being respectful of everybody. And every client is different, so you got to treat every client differently, not like a last client. They're all different.
Of course. And they're all different personalities, right? And you guys instill this, like, is it 11 plus you guys, or is it
11 total.
in
Not
total?
well, not including me.
Okay, so it's 11 guys on site, right?
Yeah.
Including yourself.
Yes.
And you guys instill this into everybody.
That's right.
You get the job.
Yeah.
This is like first day. This is what you guys talk to everybody about.
That's right.
Because that's critical, man. That's
Yeah.
they're wearing your tee. They're representing your business, your brand, and you want it to last.
That's right.
Every morning we have like a little team meeting, just to go over things that need to get done.
But you're on different job sites. Or not
Yeah.
all 11 on the same job site.
No,
different
no.
sites.
Yeah.
But
2 to 3
yeah.
pretty much active daily.
Wow. So is it all word of mouth nowadays?
A lot of social media.
Instagram.
A lot of
Yeah.
Instagram. Yeah, we get a lot. Like Jason was through Instagram. Saw some of our work, so we like to showcase what we're capable of doing. Like, for instance, when I'm meeting builders, they say, do you have a business card? Well, a business card isn't going to show you what we're capable of.
Doesn't exist anymore.
So
man.
either you can see our social media, see exactly what we're capable of. Plus, at any given time, if we're going to be working with a new client, new builder, they can always walk on to one of our active job sites and see what we're capable of. Because again, social media can only go so far. People need to see it with their own eyes as well, right?
Do you guys present? I know that was it on mic or off mic? I can't remember. That you guys don't do as much condo work these days. You focus more on.
We'll only do condos if it's referrals from like realtors and so forth. So we do have a lot of good friends who are realtors, and they toss a decent amount of work, but that's only if it's a referral situation. I don't want to compete with guys who say they're a painter and they're doing it on the side. It's
No,
just
because
our
that's not a
pricing.
painter.
Our pricing is not going to match their pricing.
So I guess my question was, do you ever show the clients the light show? Because the amount of times I've been on condos that are new construction and you see a long wall and you just see this wave,
Yep.
like of drywall and where the butt joints are
Yep.
and all this other shit. And all you got to do is put the light at a certain angle and you're like, voila.
Yeah, you see the wave through the whole wall.
Yeah. So you guys educate the clients and go,
Absolutely.
I can't fix that. I can cover it, paint it,
Yeah.
but I can't, I
So-
can fix it, but you got to.
One of the whole things about social media is to be able to educate people as well. Because again, a lot of people don't know how much effort goes into the painting side of things.
Yeah.
I feel like as painters, we get a little bit shafted in the industry. They don't think we're as much professional.
A professional trade. which
Exactly.
is the amount of times I've said that's complete garbage, man. You
Yeah.
guys are just as much a trade as everybody else is on top.
Well,
So-
well, the problem is too is they expect you also to fix everyone else's mistakes.
That's the biggest problem. You guys are left with the bag.
yeah.
So yeah, so I mean, the whole point of our social media is we're trying to also educate. So we talk about priming, we talk about the prep work. Like in custom homes, 80 to 90% of the work is prep work, sanding, filling, caulking, everything, and then painting is only 10 to 20%. But if people's mindsets are just, oh, it's just painting. That's why we that's why we work with a lot of custom home builders now, because they understand how much effort goes into our trade on their side of things. Whereas if you're doing a repaint, people don't really see the amount of effort that goes into it. And the problem is a lot of times with repaints, you tell them, hey, listen, based on the workmanship that you had before, there's no way I can fix this. We can make it look great. We can make it look good, but it's not going to look like custom, like we were there, the first people to be there, right?
And that's the problem. They expect it to look like the custom work that we did. They go, but you do such great custom work. Can you put it like that?
Doesn't
Like,
work
no.
like that.
So repaint. It's been painted 15 times.
You ever show them like paint and just show them how thin it is and that's what's being applied onto your surface and it doesn't mold into
Well,
it?
yeah, that's the problem with production, with all
Yeah.
these subdivisions.
Yeah.
It's the shittiest paint being used, the shittiest material being used. It's in, out, and there's no quality going into it. And I'm sitting there in some of these houses. You're like, how was a homeowner okay?
They don't see it because their eyes go right to the kitchen. Their
Yeah.
eyes go right to the family room, the home theater, right to the powder room, right to the bathrooms. They don't see it.
Yeah.
We see it. It's frustrating, man. Like I try to make the walls as best as possible without getting into level 5 land, right?
Yeah.
Which is a whole other can of worms. But do you guys, okay, are you guys a fan of the level 5 paint?
What do you mean by level 5 paint?
Someone has a brand that you can spray the whole wall and it evens itself out into a level 5 so-called finish. It's not exactly the same as plastering.
You can spray it without rolling it,
You can spray it on.
without back rolling.
I think it's up to you. You can choose.
So I think
remember the brand.
I think you're thinking more of a European paint, because we do use some European paints, like we do Pure and Original Marrakesh walls. That's for some
I know you
retail.
mentioned the Marrakesh walls, right? Which were totally cool, and I was really blown away by that, right? No, this is actual paint that someone showed me a few years ago.
Yeah,
There's a builder.
there's some brands that I believe have that. But again, like for instance, when we do new custom homes, it's all spraying, back rolling, all of that. It's the skill level by your hands, right? So there's so many gimmicks out there, and we try and stay away from the gimmicks, right? So I haven't used it.
Your education from? It's all on-site education, right? Trial and error education.
That's how you learn.
That's the best way to learn. You got to try it out. Whether you tried it in your own home or whatever, you figure out what works on the walls, right?
Yeah.
Because I guess that a lot of salespeople in the paint industry will just talk a big game and show you the specs and the in-lab studies that were done on that little sample sheet while they're using a little cheapy blow dryer to heat it up and dry it up. And I'm like, that's not the same as a wall in a house with humidity and all kinds of crap, right?
Exactly. Like we're just finishing up a store right now with Marrakesh. We must have done 40 samples for them, for the client. But they're on small sample pieces. So by the time you get it on a wall, we have now gone through 3 times the amount of material compared to those samples, which you don't expect that, but they change the formula. So it's not applying the same. So again, it's all about having a fair conversation with people and saying, hey, listen, it's 3 times more material. This wasn't in our budget, so we got to figure something out. And as long as you're not blaming somebody and you're not playing the blame game and you understand that just having a conversation, most people are okay with that. Because prices can always change. Sometimes we're doing custom cabinetry. We just did a custom home. We stained all their cabinets and consoles and everything. And
Bare wood or like your
wood? It was wood, yeah.
Okay, and then so why didn't they get the kitchen people just to do it?
Way more expensive.
Really?
Yeah.
Than you guys doing it on site? Really?
So they get not their kitchen cupboards, but like their office cabinetry.
Yeah, built-ins
so
and things like
yeah,
that.
built-ins and
Yeah,
exactly. So we do a lot of that staining. We do staining of stairs and stuff like that. But the original plan was we were just clear coating it, and then the homeowner changed it. He wanted a full stain. So a full stain is way more labor than just clear coating. So you just have to have a conversation and say, hey, listen, this has taken us 4 times the amount of work. Let's come to something and figure it out. And most people are okay with that, right? Prices in the industry, it's you try and give everything up front, but sometimes things change or they add things and different things.
Especially
like that, right?
in Paintland. Like, I mean, why did that client want 40 different versions of Marrakesh? Like, what was the difference between all those 40?
The problem so with Marrakesh, they have a set base, and they were trying to play with the color a little bit. And when you play with it, they were trying to change the pigment. So they were trying to change the color. So when you change the color, you're changing the pigment of it. Because
Marrakesh it has pigments in it. It's a texturized paint, so it's different than regular paint.
It's like a Venetian plaster.
Not quite. It's a little bit less than that. But
I know that last time you pulled it up, right, Angelina? You pulled up some samples. I mean, yeah, because I saw it too, and I was really impressed with it. But it is literally a custom paint every time?
Yes, because you got to do trowel work. So it's a lot more labor because you have to do regular primer, then the pure and original primer, then you have to do the Marrakesh. Then you apply it, then you have to trowel it on, and then you wait 7 to 10 days, and then you have to seal it. Yeah. So it's much more labor intensive, and the material is per square foot, just material alone, you're looking at wall space, $3 to $4 a square foot just in material. So a regular bedroom, you're looking at $3,000
cheaper than wallpaper.
Cheaper than wallpaper, that's true.
Sounds better than Chantilly lace. I'd rather say Marrakesh all day
and then
Chantilly lace.
And then Venetian plaster is a little bit different as well. We're actually
Venetian plaster is kind of like, I've seen good guys that do it, and I've seen more terrible guys that do it.
Absolutely.
Terrible guys are the ones that are in Vegas and doing it there. Listen up, guys. If you love top-line products and are interested in a dealer opportunity, you're going to want to hear this. I recently installed a Box Gobbler wall insert from MB Sentinel on the garage wall adjacent to my front porch to make a secure locker for my package deliveries. Let me tell you, the user experience is pure freedom. I can now make returns right from my home, and I don't even have to be there. Even knowing what it was supposed to do from the get-go, it still made me smile when I experienced my first delivery. If you want to see the scope of work the install requires, you can find the video on my socials. So check them out, mbsentinel.com, or call them directly for dealer details at 1-800-910-4251. And again, that's 1-800-910-4251. That's garbage in my opinion.
Because we're working on pricing out for a spa right now. And certain areas they want Venetian plaster, so we're working with a
It
supplier
has to
right
be
now.
done a certain
Yeah.
way, and
Then you have to buffer it too.
Yeah, you like it's all cart detailing crap. Like you got insane the tools that you guys bring out to make it look a certain way, and then most homeowners won't appreciate all that skill.
You're using like a 1.5-inch putty knife everywhere. You're just.
But it looks amazing when you do all that stuff.
I like Marrakesh a little bit better, just because
Really?
it's more enjoyable to work with. It's more freehand.
How does it get? Does it get
challenging
when you have boxes or corners or like wall? Like
Not,
Smaller spaces is
No.
harder because of the travel.
Got
like
it.
like the only difficult part that we had to deal with the Marrakesh is because of the pigment has changed, so it leaves it weirder to dry. Some of the time it doesn't. The one Marrakesh we're working with looks very earthy, stony.
It's a lighter color.
And then the other one, it looks amazing, but it's more of a transparent color. So when it goes on wet, it looks different when it goes on dry.
So you building it out from the back forward, like is that the idea? So you got to already understand what the base is going to be like, and then as you keep on adding more and more layers, some of that base is going to be.
But
seen?
with the transparent, so there's 3 different bases. There's the pastel base.
Okay.
Which are the lighter colors,
Yeah,
easier
so
to work with.
We did the pastel base in garage, and it was very cool because you can add on 1 coat, and then you can add on a second coat for texture.
So to interrupt there, it's not a garage; it's garage clothing
Yeah.
we did at Yorkdale Mall. Just
Oh.
it wasn't a basement
Okay,
garage.
Yeah,
I thought it was
yeah,
garage.
but-
I was like, okay.
No, garage, the
Good for
clothing
them. Yeah,
store
yeah.
in
Okay.
The
in
retail.
Yorkdale.
Yeah, no one's paying $3 to $4 a square foot.
Oh,
on
you never know.
Marrakesh and-
They might. They're paying for the epoxy on the ground.
That's true.
It's more than that.
So yeah, and then the pastel's a easier base to work with. You can be more free with it. You can freestyle it a little bit easier.
What happens if you damage it? Scratch it.
In what way? You can just add another coat, but the only problem is if you seal it.
I know, but if it's done, and kid comes in and just whatever movers come in.
Well, this is why we seal it after all furniture and everything is moved in.
Oh,
Because
yeah,
we can easily touch it up if there's a damage before we seal it, but once you seal it, way more difficult.
it's kind of like repairing stucco. You'll
Yeah.
still see it. You'll
Yeah.
still see the damage.
Yeah.
And then the transparent base is the one that we did in the other part of the store. It's like it goes on a very dark purple,
Okay.
but dries kind of like a grayish. So it's
Like a
very,
darker gray.
yeah, and you can't add a second texture to it, like a second
It
layer.
flashes
to it.
too much.
Flashes.
So how did you guys pick all this stuff up? You just did the training from them, or you guys
Trial and error.
Trial and error. huh?
Trial and error.
But they're giving you a gallon, and then they kind of give you the instructions.
So for Marrakesh, there's only 2 stores that you can get it from.
Steel's Paint one.
Nope.
Really?
Steel's Paint is Benjamin Moore. And we shout out to Steel's Paint. We use a lot of their products.
So why won't they carry?
Benjamin.
Who owns Marrakesh?
Pure and original. So
Okay.
the thing with so all Benjamin Moore stores, they all carry Benjamin Moore. That's their product line, just like for instance, and all Benjamin Moore stores are independently operated and owned. And whereas Sherwin-Williams, we do use Sherwin-Williams as well. It's all corporate, so
Yeah.
it doesn't matter what store you go to; it's all the same.
Yeah.
But then you have specialty stores for instance, Farrow and Ball.
Now, Farrow is expensive. Pain in the ass to work with.
And then there's
And-
Fine Paints of Europe.
That's another company.
That's a different company from Europe as well. It's from London, I believe.
Do you guys like Farrow and Ball? Because I heard there's a nightmare to repair, and you can't actually repair it.
So we haven't, to be honest, we haven't worked with Farrow and Ball yet.
Okay.
We've worked with Pure and Original, and then at our farmhouse, which we're fixing up, we're going to be doing Pure and Original there, Benjamin Moore there, as well as we'll be doing Fine Paints of Europe as well there. It gives that, for the banister, we're going to be using Fine Paints of Europe. It gives that nice glossy high sheen. It's really cool. Yeah, so there's only 2 stores that you can get. One is in the Beaches, and then the other store is in Milton, which is where we go. Our suppliers in Milton, Bergsma Paint,
Okay.
for all of our Pure and Original. So it's all imported paints. So
Coming from where?
Pure and Original, I think, is from Holland, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
Maybe.
They're European paints.
European paints, huh?
They have much more stricter regulations that they have to follow as well for what they're putting in their paint products.
You know, let's go down there because you guys have a team, right? And I know that with painting, it's so easy to put on the track pants and Crocs, but forget to put the dust mask on. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like there's still health risks associated with it. I know so many painters that are in the business. They're like, I don't know how much longer I want to stay in this business because you're still dealing with chemicals. It doesn't matter if it's low VOCs or whatever.
That is
they
true.
actually changed the
Yeah.
formula.
Yeah.
They
So
changed the formula.
Benjamin Moore
so-
changed their formula.
You know, but another painter told me they changed the Scoff FX formula
Yeah.
and it royally fucked up on the site.
Yes, that's
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
we
yeah,
had that
yeah.
happen.
Yeah.
We had that happen, and we also had that happen with Regal. They changed that line. So
Wow.
now we're sticking to Aura. We just did Aura.
That's
so
bad on them, for that happening and then giving it to you guys getting on a job, applying it, and then it's fucking up.
And not even saying anything.
Well, it's not even that. It's the fact that they want to get into different markets. So that's why they're changing their formulas. But so for Career Eyewear, where we just did all the Marrakesh, we did the back hallways and stuff like that in Chantilly lace, used the Aura. It was great.
Okay.
Aura's perfect.
Or is a great paint. Expensive,
Great.
great paint.
Yes.
Yeah.
But we're not trying to use builder grade paint. We don't want to be
What
in
is
that
builder grade paint these days?
Was the 500?
like
Ultra Spec?
Promar 200.
Okay.
Ultra Spec 500.
That's Sherwin.
Ultra Spec 500.
Ultra
So
Spec.
what makes a builder, like what makes a bottom end paint versus what makes a top end paint? What is
So-
the key ingredient?
So for us, it's not even okay. Like when you're trying to save money on material, you're going to end up spending it more on labor. Labor is always going to be more expensive.
For sure.
So if you're using a high end paint that you can roll on and get away with 2 coats rather than going 4, I'd rather pay the extra money for the material rather than paying for the labor. Because
For
then
sure.
also, if we're paying more for labor, it means we're on a job site longer, less money for everybody.
Profit.
Whereas, less
Yeah.
profit. Whereas if we can shift from job site quickly with quality by using really good paints, I'd rather that than sticking with a low grade paint. So we always advise our clients, they sometimes want a lower grade paint, and we always advise them to go higher end is what we do.
What's the scrubbability factor? Like, what are we waiting here? A month before you can scrub it, or like, what's the story you tell the clients? Because paint takes time to cure fully, right?
Yes, that's right.
To basically have all the scientific molecules. And all
So
that crap.
fine paints, they did a color match for Chantilly lace. In order, it applies on like a pinky color. It takes 30 to 60 days to actually get to the Chantilly lace color by sitting on the wall.
And you'll see the difference.
Yep.
Over that
It
time.
applies on pink, like a light pink, and then it starts turning into the Chantilly lace color.
That's got to be a hard pill to tell your clients that, listen, it'll look great in 2 months. And
Deal
they
with
watch it. And they just watch it, and they watch it, and they watch it, and then they're blind. They're Chantilly lace blind at that time, right?
Yeah.
Because they're like, it doesn't look like Chantilly lace. Then they'll bring their designer friend in, and they'll look at it, and they'll go, yeah, that's Chantilly lace.
Yeah.
It's always about the designer.
It's not always about the designer. It's just, I don't like, listen, everyone knows me, man. I don't like shaker. I don't like Chantilly lace.
Yeah.
I don't like glass block. I don't like curbs and showers. There's so many things in construction that I don't understand that don't need to be there, right? But a good paint job is a good paint job. Like, and I agree with you guys. I would even say 85, maybe 90% is prep. And, 10% is the actual applying of the paint. And then if, like you guys said, good quality paint, it's going to go on really nice if you have a good quality tradesperson applying that paint.
If you're going to spend $60,000, $70,000 on your kitchen, why are you not spending the money on paint?
That's the $1 million question to ask clients, man. That's not a question for me to answer. I know the answer to that. Doesn't make any sense to
And
me.
then some people who are doing these 60, 70 kitchens, it's based on the look and not the functionality.
That's a whole other argument, man. But here's the funny thing too is the quality of the paint that's used in a controlled environment to adhere to all these elements that they want inside, or even the finishes on hardwood, like their furnishings and the cabinetry and all that, like the finishings on hardware itself for doors, like that's all ultra high end quality finishes and paint products and all that. But then when it comes to the wall surface and everything that you literally touch, you want to cheap out.
Yeah.
So we have, when it comes to the curing of when we paint a wall, I guess, is we got to be really careful based on the weather in the homes.
It's been humid lately, huh?
We
The
had,
second job? Remember that one?
oh my goodness, the homeowner did not want to turn on the AC
And the cut and the roll wouldn't blend properly.
because it wasn't drying. because the house was so humid based on how the house was built. It was one of those downtown houses.
It actually says it on the can, doesn't it? That the humidity level has to be within a certain range.
We need the temperature in the house to be good in order to get a proper quality paint on the wall.
Why didn't they want to turn on?
Some people.
I think they didn't know. They were.
I don't know.
oblivious to it.
Maybe she didn't know she had AC. I don't know.
They were older too.
Yeah.
So
this is why it's always, we find in the industry, it's about us advising and giving our knowledge. When we first entered in, it was more like, oh, okay. And we were listening to everybody, whereas that's not what should happen. If you're the professional, like when I go to the barber, I don't ask really what I should get. I say, what do you think will look good? You've been a barber for 30 years. You know the skill. I don't. Just like we know what we're doing. We're in the paint industry. We're advising you in the right direction rather than in the wrong direction. And not everybody knows the whole construction industry. And then some homeowners want to kind of manage their own project, but they don't know the segment of how things are supposed to go in order. So then it gets all messed up as well, right?
Because people think it's easy what we do,
Yep.
especially you guys, unfortunately.
Oh yeah, we have that. Well, we're actually looking at working with a financing company now as well, because rather than where people are like, oh my God, 15 grand for a paint job. And I'm like, well, it's a whole house. Like,
That's cheap.
Yeah.
By the way.
Oh, I know.
I'm sorry, but that's cheap.
But what do you expect? And then so now it's like, okay, you don't want that to swallow that pill of cashing out all that money. Oh, you're selling your house in a month. We're the last ones to come in. Finance it. You don't pay anything up front.
The amount of times I've had clients saying we're going to paint it ourselves. I'm
Oh.
like, what the fuck you are.
That's what happens.
remember-
I just dealt with a builder, 9,000 square foot house. They decided they're priming it themselves. 9,000 square feet.
So the prep, the most important,
They're doing themselves.
90% is what I think it is. It just became 91.
Mm-hmm.
91% important that you do it right. They want to do it themselves, and they've never done it before.
Yeah.
They go to Home Depot and they get the plastic pans
Oh,
and
yeah.
they get the little rollers that are basically made out of lint,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what they want to do.
were you
Remember
gonna
the
say?
condo job that we did,
Which one?
where she got the who is it, the baseboard guys to do the mudding and taping.
Yeah.
What do you mean, the trim guys?
Yeah, the trim guys. Sorry.
This happens all the time where a trade will come in, and not all the time, but we'll work with where one trade will start doing a job and then they're like, we can do this one too and that one too. And then
Because they had a hole in the schedule and they want to fill it, so they're already there. Tools are already all set up. I could do your landscaping. Yeah, but you're the plumber.
yeah.
So she got the trim guys to do a patchwork,
That's stupid.
and then she asked us. They didn't bother to sand it, so they did the patchwork, didn't sand it, and then asked us if we could sand it and paint it. But then she said, "But can you make it look smooth and level with the wall?" And we said we can do like our best, but it's not gonna look. Yeah, it was. It
Now
was
you're
ridiculous.
sanding cured paint on top of
Yeah.
hairy drywall surface,
Yeah.
right?
Or she said you're using a brush to cut, and it's a repaint, so you're using a brush to cut, and she's saying, I don't like how there's brush marks. Well, first of all, it's a repaint, and second of all, we're using a brush, so there's going to be brush marks.
Like in the industry, we're strong believers of every trade needs to stay in their own trade. Even if you're out of work,
Of course.
wait for a week, more work. There's so much work to go around for everybody. They're building all the time. So we're a
Clients are
big,
different though. You'll get clients that are just like, it has to be brushstroke. Then you'll get clients that it never should be brushstroke.
well, this is why we believe that every client is different. You got to understand what their needs are in order to meet their needs, because the last client that you worked with is not the next client that you're going to work with.
Of course. But you
And-
have to leave it a certain way because that client may give you the next client, right?
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
So
Lot
you
of
guys
word of
always
mouth,
bend
yeah.
over backwards and try to leave
Yes.
that impression for them, right?
Yep.
So, but it goes back to that double edge because now they're asking you to make magic happen and fix every fucking little thing that happened, right? Which is difficult sometimes for painters. It's difficult.
Especially
there's only
with-
so much you can do.
Especially with repaints. You find that a lot in repaints.
You guys prefer repaints or new construction?
I prefer repaints.
Doesn't matter to me. I'm not on the site, but I like the dealing with the clients, new construction, but custom home builders, much easier to deal with.
Ones that know the game.
Well, they know the game. You don't chase them for money. You get paid right away. Whereas a lot of times with repaints, homeowners,
You're chasing for money then? Yeah.
Oh, all the time.
Why do you prefer repaints?
Not nostalgia. It's what I grew up doing, right?
Yeah.
It's what I grew up when I started painting. So I just know the process in and out. Not that I don't know the process for custom or production. It's just I know it so well. I could do it with my eyes closed. So
Different world when it comes to commercial when you guys are doing retail space.
Oh yeah.
of course, it's all different. Each painting is it's a totally different game in each sense.
Retail, we get really, what's the word, jammed in. We get bottlenecked really bad. So there's always,
you have a set amount of time to get this done.
well, there's always a delay,
Always.
right? But they have to hand over the keys by a certain day. So when we're using certain products where you need cure time, you need everything, they try and make you cut corners, which you can't, right? So by the time like the flooring guys are done or the trim guys are done or whatever needs to be done, like one job we had to do where the electricians were coming in the next day. So we had to finish coat the ceilings, prime the whole store, and we were there until 3 a.m. to get it done. Otherwise it would be impossible. And a lot of guys don't understand that if we can't spray, the amount of extra time that goes into a job, which is now not accounted for in our budget because they want that look of the spray, everything comes down to the budget of what the client wants. You have that first conversation with them, but then things change over time. So everything changes, and then we get bottlenecked, and then we have 2 days or 3 days to finish a whole store.
Lots of stress in retail, eh? And plus,
Oh, yeah.
you guys don't get paid for 90 days, right? If not longer.
Some clients are 45.
45?
I prefer that than production painting on these new developments like condo buildings or subdivisions. Sometimes you're waiting 6 months, 180 days. Oh yeah,
That's ridiculous.
But the retail, the last day is. It's a zoo.
yeah, everyone's a zoo, right? It's,
Yeah,
You got the
everybody's in
it's
there.
almost like
electricians.
Extreme Makeover, man.
Yeah, you got the mudders and tapers in there. You know,
It's too much.
With-
Unless there's in your contracts, you guys can get fined, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But that's why, for instance, production painting we stay away from. They find, first of all, working with those big builders, you're never appreciated. You're just a
No.
number.
Yep.
They also feel like they're doing you a favor because they're giving you work. You don't make any money from it. It's a rush. It's a headache. It's too stressful. And no quality is going into it because you don't have the time to put the quality into it.
but then they want quality.
Yeah.
So they want you to rush, but then they want quality, and then they want this, and then they want
Construction
that.
triangle, man. Pick two.
Yeah,
Simple as that, right? You want the
Pick two.
quality, you want to rush, it's going to cost you a shitload of money.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to pay a shitload of money, then you got to sacrifice one of the other two. Then it won't get done fast. Simple. It's just simple arithmetic. That's just my mindset, but that's how you butt heads with people, right?
Or a lot of, they'll bring in other trades when we're supposed to be in there.
Well, they just stack it because they need to get it done, or they say, "Well, listen, if I can't get it on this day, I can't get back for another week."
And then it just
So-
makes tension on all
Yeah,
the
of course it
trades
does.
who
It
don't
pisses
want
everybody
tension
off,
on
right?
everybody. Yeah.
Last thing you want is like a plumber or electrician have a paint drop on their brand new Milwaukee or whatever it is, right? And you're like freaking out. I'm like, calm down, man, calm down. It's just Milwaukee.
And then we stick to a lot, unless we do some exteriors, depending on what we're doing, but we stick to a lot of interior. We've heard nightmares where, because if you're spraying on outside and you're spraying apartment buildings, we knew somebody where they sprayed, but it was a windy day, overspray on 70 cars.
Was it Chantilly lace?
I think it was black actually. So yeah, I don't know if that's harder to get off the cars, but 70 cars is a lot.
No, those little drops are insane. That you're repainting the car if they want to get that far, right? That's the shit thing about it. That's scary. And I've seen guys do that. You'll get the stupid idiots in Toronto that want to paint all their brick, and then they're outside there and just spraying everything on a windy day, and you're spraying everything.
well, one of the cars out of the 70 was a Maserati.
Yeah.
Black.
That's like a day that you basically fold up shop and just call it a day, man.
Yeah.
You're done.
I think it was their like third day working there.
Well, there was that job, and then we were doing another job where we were doing the interior of an apartment building. There was another team outside, and they oversprayed 15 cars.
That's such a pain in the ass. Eh? I'm always paranoid when you're driving through construction sites and they're doing the painting, like on the roadway, and they're just spraying, even though that paint's been designed to literally on contact dry, and that's it. But if you're driving next to it, man, like there's always a paranoid feeling that you'll get some yellow paint on. And nobody's driving a Love Bug, right, or a Camaro or whatever.
Yeah.
That's yellow, so it can't hide it. Everyone's driving something else. So paint, you guys get all the blame and everything, man. So
Everywhere.
Well, yeah, we just well, we're staining the stairs now, but we finished the first main floor, second floor at a house that we're doing, and it's a semi-detached. The neighbor was really nice because the construction guys, they share that wall, so when they were hitting their wall, they damaged the neighbor's wall.
happens.
So we fixed it all for them, and then we're staining there. But that builder's a really nice guy. So we did all the paint there, and now we're staining that house. We're doing all the stairs. So that one, we like that job.
So you guys had the same Scuff FX problem.
Yeah.
How is it resolved? They stepped up and gave you material, but you still had to sand everything down and repaint everything all over again. No,
Not really.
We didn't have to we didn't have to sand it. It just wasn't blending, so you have to do another coat.
okay.
And then
So
you
then
just
more coats,
adding-
more
Oh,
coats.
this painter I know, he had to sand it all down because it was just,
Oh, it's
it was like a
thick.
really bad orange peel.
Oh.
Yeah.
It was a really bad orange peel, so he couldn't leave it that way, right?
No, luckily we didn't have that problem, but it was just the more paint you add, the more brush strokes you see, the more roller marks you see. It makes it thick.
That's why we're also cautious on what rolls we use, what brushes we use. I mean, if you're going to do the landlord special, you're using a very nappy roll. It's going to give you orange peel.
But if
Yeah.
you're trying to do a good finish, you use the German rolls, microfiber.
What thickness?
I
13?
I like to use like 10 to 13.
10 to 13?
Yeah.
What's your choice of brush? I forgot. Purdy? No, it wasn't
No,
Purdy.
I do not like the Purdy's. at
No,
all.
Worcester?
I like the Noir. Noir finish.
Who's Noir?
NUWAR, I believe is the name.
Okay.
No,
There-
N-O-U-R.
Is it Noir?
Yeah.
Or Noir? I thought it's Noir.
No, N-O-U-R.
How come you like those ones?
They're a lot stiffer to use.
Okay.
It makes a better cut line.
Yeah, he's right.
Yeah, the edges tilted more. It's just a nicer brush and bang for your buck. I'm not gonna spend $30 on a brush that's gonna last. These brushes are like $13.
How many times you get them, wash them, and use them again?
I've like 15 times.
Really, huh? That's pretty good for $13, man. Because guys are spending twice that, 3 times
Yeah.
that. And I don't think they last that.
I'm not a fan of the pretty brushes.
Yeah, there's some brushes that are $50, $60 a brush.
Yeah.
Our
the
pure and
Corona-
original brushes are expensive.
What is it, a bunch of badgers just hanging on the wall there, and you're just taking them down and using them to paint everything? Is that what you...
Well, how much are the pure and original ones? I think those are $80.
Yeah, $80. The trowels are expensive.
The trowels are what, 120?
Trowels are 120.
What are they made out of, gold?
The problem
It's
is
experience.
yeah, but it's also the problem is like you can only use their trowel.
Otherwise...
It won't work.
It won't work? But that's Pharaoh and Ball's
Smart.
mentality, where they say that you can only use their paint. You can't color match. It depends on a retailer. I've heard retailers get in trouble for trying to color match Pharaoh and Ball's colors, right? But there's that all rule too. You guys have that rule with designers, right? Where they actually put in the contract that you have to use Benjamin Moore or
So before
Chantilly lace.
So when we're getting into that conversation, because a lot of the time I'm pricing based on plans, we do a lot of pricing before they're even building anything. So with retail stores, you can't just walk on and see, or we're going to be doing, they're like more custom high-end houses, 4,000 square feet each. We're doing like 18 houses coming up in September, I think it is. And, but nothing's built. So you can't go in and kind of talk about it and see. So when I get the colors on the page, we go over them, just like for the spa that we're doing, they have, for their Venetian plaster, they have a type of plaster that they want to use, but they're using it in the spa area. So it's my job to let them know, hey, I recommend this one because you're in a moisture room. This is what I recommend. So for instance, we were pricing out for a store and they wanted a certain blue color. That blue I think they wanted it in a Sherwin-Williams, but I said to them, the color blue that you want is not going to work unless you go with this European paint. Okay. So I advise before we even get to there, or if they want a Sherwin-Williams color, we talk about maybe they want a Benjamin Moore, or maybe they want this type of grade or that type of grade, and we have all those conversations beforehand because, yes, they know what they want, but again, every trade knows their specific trade, and we're supposed to advise. Otherwise, if we're not advising and giving advice and doing a good job, what's the point of us then?
But
if
then
we're just listening.
You're offering your professional opinion.
Yes.
But that opinion is also adding to the price value
That's right.
because of the environment that they're asking for. And their designer or their research just taught them that I can go into and grab a can from a big box store and I can use that paint in that room. But you're trying to advise them saying, no, you can't just do that.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of factors you got to consider here, right?
That's right.
But that's going to cost more money. So
Yes.
if you're already spending that money to make that room a certain way, then you really need to finish it a certain way, right? But that's an uphill battle for you guys to always explain to them that it's going to cost 3 times as much now for the material. I guess the labor is almost the same. No, it's going to be more too because there's more labor attached to it.
But I'd rather have that conversation, and I'd rather have them not go with me and pick somebody else that's going to do what they want. And then if it doesn't turn out well, they're not getting paid anyways. So I'd rather have that conversation, do the uphill battle, because once I'm at the top of the platform, at least we're still going to get paid because we advised them and they went with our knowledge. And if they don't go with our knowledge, then it's on them. It's no longer on us because we've advised them. If they decide to go against what we're saying,
That's on them.
that's on them.
How do you guys navigate that water, man? Because everyone thinks that your trade is anybody can do. How do you guys navigate the competition out there that can paint something in one day? Like off mic, talking about student painters and things like that. People that are just picking up on the summertime and all of a sudden they just jump into it. I'm sure in the pandemic, everybody became a painter. They just all jump right in. I could work for my Civic. You know, I could fit a roller, a pan, a 5-gallon bucket in my Civic, and how do you guys navigate through that shit, man?
We don't compete with those guys.
You don't even deal with it. It's not even on your radar.
If they're getting pricing from them or other companies and whatnot, I'm not even going to even try and give a price.
Clients are sharing that information with you, going, this is the quote that we got from so-and-so.
Sometimes we do have that.
Yeah.
Then we're like, we'll sometimes price out customs and there'll be guys who undercut 60% of what we're charging. And I'll say, okay, you go with them. I'm not even going to have that conversation.
How is that even possible? Like, what are they using? Basically water with food coloring in it? Like, that's the paint they're using?
There's a lot of guys out there that are in it's happening in every industry in the trade where they're undercutting everybody. So it might be 2 guys who are doing it together. So they have the ability. We're a paint company. We're not just 2 painters painting. We're a paint company. You're not our only client. We have many clients, right? So even like, for instance, when we're on a job site and then clients start adding more and more and more, I say, hey, listen, it's not about the money, it's about the time. We scheduled your job in for X amount of days, and now because you're adding this, and this, we're going to be here for 3 more days, you're going to push our other job back. So it's not always just about the money, it's about the timeline too, because a lot of, in the industry, they don't understand that we always have to look for the next job.
Of course, you're always looking for it.
So
and
now,
jobs, in your case, is jobs.
Yeah.
It's not just one job you're looking for.
So now we try and plan 2-3 months out to give us more cushion.
That way you keep you guys busy, you keep everyone happy.
So that's why we're doing the retail side of things and we're doing high-end custom homes because we don't want to compete with student painters. No problem. Like, again, if somebody calls us and say, I have 1 bedroom to paint, we won't go. It's not worth our time. But for others, of course, it will be worth their time if somebody, and not to knock anybody, if you're doing painting on the side and you're good at it and you have a full-time job, no problem. Go and do it. But I'm not going to compete in your space. Plus, also, we have all other expenses. Social media costs money. Office lines cost money. Estimators cost money.
But the materials that you guys
insurance.
are using and the skills you guys are using doesn't compare to what they're using.
That's right.
You can't compare. It's not apples and apples at that point.
That's right. But if somebody... But then
your price is going to be higher regardless.
100%.
Right?
100%.
But it's higher for a reason. It's not higher because you're just gouging people.
But again, we're not for everybody. We're not the most
course.
expensive. We're not the cheapest. But I don't want to have every client say yes to us because that means we're too cheap. If everybody agrees to our price and nobody's saying no, because again, we're not for everybody. Just like certain cars are not for everybody. Some people want them, some people don't. But you're going to pay for our quality service, our customer service. It's just like if you were to buy windows and doors from a company and they're a big company, you're going to pay more money because they're providing a service than some guy who's going to just say, hey, I can get you windows. Yeah, you'll save a lot of money, but people want that customer service experience.
You guys are always like, I've always said, I don't know if I said it on the show, but painting and painters are always like the last slice of pizza. Everyone always fights over the last slice of pizza. So whenever there's a pizza on the job site, I take out the last slice, and it's important from the beginning. It's not left at the end, and everyone just haggles over that slice saying, well, it's only worth this much, it's only worth that much. You guys have this, you have that, whatever. No, kiss my ass. It's important. That slice of pizza of the construction is important. And it's just frustrating. I'm sure I've gotten frustrated talking to clients, trying to explain to them how important it is compared to the rest of the trades that are on the site.
Well, also too, getting messing up the painter's schedule too is just like deciding to put flooring in before there. Like we were doing a job where the agreement was that before we paint, because we're spraying, don't put the flooring in first, put it in after.
And then we showed up and flooring was going in. No warning.
I always put the flooring in first before painting goes on.
Well, then cover it.
But then I'm fully covering it. And I ain't covering it with ram board. I'm covering it with sheets of masonite, 1/8 inch, and I'm taping all the joints. So then...
they wouldn't cover.
They wouldn't cover.
That's just stupid. This is a homeowner GC or is this just a stupid GC?
No, this was like a big project we were doing.
And they wouldn't cover the finished flooring?
And
not even with paper?
Well, actually, on that site, all the flooring ended up getting ruined, not by us, but because instead of doing top down, they went bottom up. So all the trades were coming in from every floor, working their way up rather than going top down. So all the sand on the site and everything scratched the shit out of all the floors.
And then the people that did the balcony made it level.
Oh yeah, they didn't do the balconies properly, so water came into every single unit and damaged all
the condo?
It was a condo, yeah.
Using digital platforms in our industry is becoming more common, especially among the young folks, because it improves efficiency, prevents mistakes, and overall makes our lives as contractors easier. This is why we partnered with Connect Team, a platform built to manage, train, and communicate with your team. Connect Team's desktop version gives managers a live overview of the business to track work hours, create schedules, make sure the business meets compliance, and so much more. Employees just download the app to their mobile to clock in and out, share safety reports, and get updates all in one place, ensuring they've got what they need to perform at their best. Connect Team has a free plan and a 14-day free trial. Try them today by checking out the link in the show notes.
Luxury.
No, I know. It looks luxurious on the photoshopped images that are sold on the website.
No backsplash.
Yeah.
No backsplash in the kitchen?
Yeah, so they were supposed to do backsplash, and then we left the painting out because you don't need to paint it. And then we were told, what are you talking about? Well, we decided against backsplash. So then you now got to paint. And the whole point, backsplash looks great, but the whole, and I don't think a lot of people understand, it's the functionality of the backsplash. When you're cooking, you're using oil, it's going to hit the backsplash and you can wipe it off because it's tile. But if you just have a wall, eventually that oil is going to seep into the drywall. You're going to end up having to cut it out, redo it all, put some backsplash in.
These are luxury
Oh, no, but that's why they picked eggshell.
Yeah, I know. But
everyone thinks
yeah,
eggshell
exactly.
fixes everyone's problem. You get tomato sauce,
Man,
eggshell.
this GC or this company should actually go home and grab an egg and look at that shell and just understand that that's not going to protect shit, man.
People think if you paint your walls eggshell, it will save your life.
So we actually go against eggshell now.
Yeah, eggshell.
What do you guys recommend?
Flat.
Flat. Listen, I'm from the film business before construction. I fucking love flat.
So flat is based on so the positive thing about formula change is the durability of the high-end flat paints. You can wash the walls. It's great.
Very good.
Right.
Yeah.
Now the problem is if we use eggshell, when we go to do touch-ups, we got to redo the entire wall. Because it's going to flash. You can't just do one section. So we always advise, hey, you want eggshell? You're going to pay extra.
You'll get the same flashing with satin finish as well, too, right? It's just flat you don't. Flat's a nicer paint.
So we do pearl for like baseboards, doors, and then flat walls, flat ceilings.
So what is the sheen difference between a pearl and a satin? Like, what are we talking about? Micro here, or are we like?
Yeah, there's different brands that call it a different sheen.
Yeah,
but
so
it's really the same thing.
It's basically Tomato's model.
Yeah.
Is that all
There's
it
just
is?
different branding, different cans, different lines. Call it something
So
different.
they come up with another name that
Yeah.
kind of looks a certain way, right?
That's right.
Chantilly lace glow. Crap like that, man. Why are they stuck on what is it, CC 11?
CC
Cloud White.
Cloud White. Oh.
What is Cloud White's number? CC what?
CC third? No, not CC third.
I don't know what the hell it is. All the designers right now are rolling their eyes going, how do you not know that, Manny?
Or white
Because
dove.
I don't give a fuck about that color.
Well,
That's
there's
why.
also for us to know every single code out there. There's thousands upon thousands of different paints. Yeah, you get familiar with certain ones because everybody starts using the same one, which is crazy because why wouldn't you want different colors in your own house? This is why we don't pick out colors for clients. We send them to our suppliers like Steele's Paint and so forth to get advice from them, because they're paint color consultants. They can give them great advice, because I never want to choose for a client, because my opinions, my color ideas for what I want is going to be different from everybody else.
Recently, I've been seeing, because I can't stand, so you know what I've been doing on social media now? When I see, you know how the algorithms, all that crap, like you look at one thing, all of a sudden you see the same thing over and over. So I literally been blocking Shaker. I've been blocking shit like that, right? Chantilly, I just block it. I'm like, I don't want it to come up. And so what I've been noticing is that I've been seeing these beautiful olive greens coming up in bathrooms and kitchens.
But people are nervous to do that.
Fuck them. So I see like blues, like these indigo blues that are just mixed with different shades of blues. And like you start seeing drapery valances and things like that. You're seeing all these beautiful colors. And then you start seeing like dens that are painted in either super high gloss, almost that piano finish black.
Fine Paints of Europe does that.
Yeah, but this is why you should always work with different people in their trades to give you the best opinion. Like, for instance, as we're renovating our farm right now, it's not like we're picking out everything. We're working. So we knew we already have our windows installed. So we went with like a cashmere, like a cream for the windows. So obviously I want to match the fascia, the downspouts and all of that with that. But now we're bringing that color to the experts to say, hey, listen, we're going to paint our exterior house. What do you recommend to go with this color? Then we have the flooring choice already for inside. Hey, listen, wall color. We're going to do so in our place for where we're putting the fireplaces. We're going to do a Marrakesh accent wall in the room. So we've already picked out that color. Which color is going to complement this color? Then just like picking out your baseboards, you want everything to complement everything. And that's why you use professionals, and we send them to the right places so that way people can get the right opinions. It might not be the right perfect opinion, but they're getting advice.
It's funny how the clients will always ask you guys to paint Chantilly lace, but they'll bookmark the shit out of those olives and those blues and those other tones, terracotta, things like that.
They're afraid.
Bookmark the shit out of it.
Yeah.
But they are totally afraid of committing to that. And I'm like, I always said walking into a room is an emotion. It's not a visual. It's an emotion. You don't get shit emotion from Chantilly lace, in my opinion, right? So
it's just white.
It's just white, right? I'm a white guy, European, but it's just like it doesn't like have some.
Or it's
interest.
it's like where we're painting the same color baseboards, different sheen, same color wall, different sheen, same color ceiling, different sheen. So everything is the same color. Don't you want some sort of uniqueness? And at the end of the day, go for that color. Be a little bit bold, because what's the worst that can happen? You don't like it? Change the color.
If you go white on everything, listen, I've seen that. Those homes are nice, like, but that's like couch, dressers, table, count, everything's white. If you do that, and then that makes a lot of sense for Chantilly lace. But if you actually want some interesting elements in a nice, warm, cozy home, like we all watch this shit. We see it on TV shows. We see it in movies. We see it on our social media. We see it on Pinterest. We see all these gorgeous colors being applied a certain way and designed a certain way, but yet homeowners don't want to. But I tell you, man, they bookmark the shit out of that.
But they talk about it. It's all talk.
If you do it, do the color. If you don't like it, change the color.
You can always change the color.
I like the olive that you're talking about.
Oh, it's fucking stunning, dude.
It makes it.
I've seen
it reminds,
kitchens and bathrooms like
it
that.
reminds me of like London.
The great thing
London,
about
England.
paint is you can always change the color. Once you design your bathroom and you make the size of your shower, you can't change it just like that.
No.
With paint, you don't like the color, switch the color.
Just change it. Plus, you can change it down the line as well, too, to a different tone, and then all of a sudden you're good. Start with a bathroom, it's got white fixtures or whatever, but then add some color or whatever, the accent tile or the backsplash tile.
You want your house to feel warm.
Yeah.
The home is where the heart is.
White doesn't feel warm.
No.
Not to me. It doesn't.
It's easy for a painter, though. I ain't complaining.
Yeah, it's easier for you guys to apply, so it's simple for you guys.
Yeah,
when you
you're
start
in
getting
and
into
out.
colors, you got to get like serious cutting at that point, right?
Yeah. The white.
But we love to do that because that's where our skill is.
That's where you see the skill. And it ain't those stupid infomercial, like the roller pads with the wheels on it, like cutting crap, shit like that, right? I remember my brother doing that to his house, and I was like, why is there like a 1/4-inch line separated from the corner of the ceiling to the wall? And I was like, well, that's how the brush thing went. And I was like, well, what the fuck is this thing? I don't know what the hell this is. And some guy invented it, and he's on a beach making a shitload of money because he sold 1 million of those units, man. But it sucks. It's not the right thing to use.
Mm-hmm.
Skills take time.
Is there a particular bone you guys want to pick with the painting industry or construction industry? Nothing?
You got anything in mind?
A bone to pick? I would just say it's, again, the off-mic conversation that we had. It's just the unregulations of everything. That's, again, with pricing, nobody has any idea what anything costs because there's no idea of what anything costs.
Your material costs, though, over the funny, stupid years, they doubled, didn't they? Like a can was just like, when I'm being told what a can costs, I was like, are you crazy, man? I don't remember cans costing that.
Oh, yeah.
much.
Yeah, but
They're
then you have
insane.
people complaining. They're like, well, I'll go to Canadian Tire.
Canadian Tire or Home Depot.
Yeah.
What brand is that Canadian Tire?
What is it?
Mastercraft paint?
They have the new one with like the special pour nozzle or something.
Oh, they
What
got
is that crap?
They
What is that crap?
They invented. Now they said you got to buy your paint in bags. So they sell paint in bags.
Oh, yeah, there's a
now.
paint bag one.
Yeah.
I think Home Depot is Bear.
Bear. Yeah.
Funny enough.
That
where
makes me just want to
where
go to
Bear's
the
from.
aisle there with a pin.
And just shh.
Yeah, but see, a lot of...
Create a little bit of Jackson
I mean,
Pollock
it
on the
is
floor.
it is smart for Home Depot to sell paint because you got guys coming in there buying all their material and they're like, okay, and then they're with their wife or whatever and they're like, honey, you can paint now, and then you get paint from Home Depot.
Is Ralph Lauren still selling paint at Home Depot? Or is they still selling paint? Remember the day when they had all these...
Ralph Lauren was selling paint.
Yeah, they had all these textured finishes. Like they threw in silicone sand in there and then they would create a textured finish and they were selling it for a stupid price. Like, this is back in the day, maybe 15 years ago, that they were selling it for like $50 a gallon, but you could only use their base and their products.
Of course.
They had like a denim paint, like you had a wire. Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm like, listen, I don't care what you guys say. That doesn't look like denim. Right? You guys are trying to make it look like denim, but it doesn't look like denim, right? Then they did the sand one, which had like a bag of silicone sand that you mixed in with the paint. You had to constantly mix it, stir it. Then you apply with a roller and you get like a deep section of sand on it, and then you have empty spots. And I'm like, this is not working. This doesn't make any sense. But people were buying into it.
Yeah, our material costs have gone up. Like Aura is not cheap.
A lot. What's Aura now? Is it over 100?
Yeah,
A gallon?
I believe it is.
Really?
Check on your
A
phone.
little bit more.
Over, like your price is over $100 for a can of Aura?
No, if you walk into the store.
Okay, all right. That's still though. What is it? Yours price like 99?
Something like that. But what we do is we always tell the clients, hey, we're not marking up our product. We give you what we get.
Because there isn't room there to mark it up. These guys are. This is what infuriates me about some of the paint companies is that they're selling it to the same homeowners for the same price, and I'm like, you guys shouldn't be doing that, man. There should be a little bit of specialty going on here.
Of course, so that way we get a job rather than them saying, okay, I'll just do it myself.
Well, you guys are also buying volume. I can only assume how many gallons
we're
or
buying
pails you guys are buying. You guys are now walking and going, give me 1 can of Chantilly lace. No, I've seen painters going, give me a skid of 5 gallons of Chantilly lace.
It's like $90 to $100.
Yeah.
For a can of Aura,
Yeah.
depending on the base. Deeper base is going to cost more.
Yeah.
But then-
Oh, if you get that Chantilly lace though.
But then like
There's a markup on just Chantilly
Yeah,
lace.
yeah,
What
of
you paying
course.
for every single letter? Is that why the name's so long?
There's also the obsession with white dove. People love white
Obsession with white. What do you mean? Like that's the name of the paint?
Yeah.
White Dove.
White dove.
Benjamin Moore.
Benjamin Moore.
Is that a new color?
No, it's, I wouldn't say new. But I
What
don't,
is it? Is it warmer or cooler? White Dove. I'm assuming
it
warmer.
makes no difference. It makes
there's
no
so many
difference.
whites that are just so similar.
Well,
and people-
CC whatever 46 whatever it is.
Yeah.
Cloud White is warmer. Chantilly lace is like in between warm.
It looks all
and
the same.
colder.
It looks all the same.
It depends also, and then you get electricians coming in and throwing in all these cool bulbs. You're like, well, you just fucked up all my color, man.
Yeah, because that's also when you're picking out lighting. How is your lighting being done in your house to reflect
That's my biggest
the paint?
gripe, dude. If you get an electrician who doesn't understand temperature of light, and you're mix matching accent light, reset lighting, and fixtures and whatever, you're mix matching it, and it just looks like a blur. I'm like furious by that shit. Furious by it, because it diminishes what you guys have done. Because now every wall is going to look different for the wrong reason, which defeats the purpose of you guys spending all that time and effort and skill to paint it a certain way.
I guess know what the bone to pick is?
Yeah.
It's when a client tells us a color and we go to pick up the color and they're like, I think I changed my mind. I want to go with something else.
Sure, you still paid for this, though.
Yeah. Or you start doing the work and they don't say anything in between. And when you finish, Then they're like, oh, I don't know if I like that color.
You're like, can you give us a deal?
Well, you do now because you just paid for it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You want me to repaint it? I've seen that sometimes like 3-4 times, like peel it off. And we're talking not just walls, we're talking built-ins. And then change the color again and then remask it and then change it again and then peel it off. And then all of a sudden you're like, okay, now I love it. They're paying for it. By all means, do it.
But it also messes up the schedule. So when we book jobs in, right, we have a certain time that we're finishing it by.
Because we have time and budget.
Agree. Yeah.
And then it's like you want to make the client happy, but it's like, why didn't you think of this beforehand?
When you guys are offering clients samples, are you guys just doing a slap on a section of a wall?
Oh, no, we're telling them to go right to the store, get advice, get the samples. We'll put it on the wall.
But they're not asking you to put it on. Okay, so they'll get the sample, but you guys are going to roll a section of the wall and paint it.
But still, even though if you do it, like we did samples,
It still doesn't give you the whole thing.
It still doesn't give the whole thing.
They should be paying you guys to paint a whole wall from ceiling to walls to corners to base. Paint that. That's the sample there. But they should be paying for that. But they won't, right?
No, because everybody doesn't feel like the extra work costs any extra money.
But spending the time and effort to paint the whole room to discover that you didn't like it. Because I've always said to clients, you should paint one wall, and ideally that wall should be connected to some outdoor window and some interior lighting so that you can see it morning, noon, and night. Then you can say yay or nay if I like it, and that way you've already just spent a fraction of what
Well,
it
that's
would've
being
cost.
proactive, but nobody's proactive.
No,
So in
not
that case,
painting.
yeah, you spent maybe a couple $100 more or whatever it is, but now you actually know what you want. So you don't have to go back to the drawing board later on, right?
I don't want to dog the designers here, but are we like their vision board? They're so used to the Chantilly lace that they've seen it and they know exactly what the accompanying tones associated with that color, that it's almost like you phone it in and you're literally just presenting the design scheme because you're so used to this one base color and you've sold the client on that color, and now your drapes and your upholstery and your rugs and your flooring, everything's connected to that, and this is what it works.
But why is the designers giving the same look to every homeowner?
That's what I'm asking. Is are they doing that because I'm getting paid the same amount if I present this, which was just presented on the last job, or I'm getting paid the same amount if I spend another 100 hours redesigning a whole color scheme to present to this that may not get approved?
It's basic.
Right, but that's what should happen.
Well,
Because
no, I
if you're a
agree with you. I
designer,
totally
that's
agree
what
with
you
you.
should do,
Exactly.
right?
That's where their skill set is. That's what they've been taught.
Like everybody we go to is like Chantilly lace. I'm like, why is everybody doing the same thing? It's your home. Not everybody is the same. Not everybody has the same car. Not everybody has the same pair of sunglasses. The whole point of working with a designer, because you don't have that design mindset, is for them to help you and give you a vision. What furniture are you putting in? What flooring are you choosing?
You know,
Not to just shift over from, because it's easy. Everybody can do the easy thing. We could paint everybody's house the same color over and over and over again, but then that gets boring.
But that's what you guys are painting it to a level of quality. So then it's fine. At some point, you guys got to give up the argument about trying to convince them to use a different color,
that's right.
or experiment and try something new, right? Or you got to get an opportunity where you paint your own place, or you have a friend or what have you, and they want to take a chance or whatever. And that's what I fit right into that kind of category, right? But the whole painting thing with the designers, it happens in tile. Everyone's always choosing the same tile tones, stone tones, hardwood flooring tones. Like they're always choosing the same brick sometimes, exterior cladding sometimes.
Oh my God, the nightmare of all the gray floors in all the houses right now.
Like what happens 10 years from now when it's like I was laughing my ass off at the beginning of my construction career where everybody was talking about 5-inch at the time. It was 5-inch and it was all lighter grayish kind of flooring. But now it's all white oak and it's like 6 or 8-inch now. But I mean, like, so what happened to all the people that chose 10 years ago that gray 5-inch stuff? You can only sand it once or twice and that's it. So you're going to live with it. So why are you going with the trend? Why don't you go with what you know is going to last forever, which we've seen over and over? It does last forever. And it accompanies any kind of design that you want to design. And plus, most hardwood these days is covered up with rugs, furniture, all kinds of shit. But I mean, all these things are the same. Like I can't stand the same mosaics being chosen, the same porcelain slabs, like the same countertops.
Oh my God, everybody doing just the white subway tile. Everybody, white subway tile, subway tile, subway tile.
That's what I'm telling you on social media. I block them, so they don't come up, man. And then you know what happens? I'm telling you the truth. It happens. You get all these beautiful different ideas coming up, and you're like, that's interesting. I like seeing that.
And then you can take different ideas from everybody and combine them together to make the whole point of your own home is to make it unique.
Yeah.
To not be the same as everybody else.
I did a house where it
It's
was
cookie cutter.
a little bit of a challenge just to get red in one bedroom, blue in another bedroom, gray in one bedroom. And then, of course, the homeowners, they actually went with the master was CC, whatever, cloud white. And I was like, yeah, fuck, that was the worst bedroom of all, right? The other bedrooms, the kids' bedrooms were the color bedrooms, which were great. And they loved it. They had fun with it. They walked in and they had a vibe. When they walked in, the kids were excited about seeing that color on the wall, right? That's what I liked about it. It's their room, it's their purpose, man. So, and then I fought with them to extend it. So you started seeing purples and mauves and tile work and the mosaics and all stuff like that. And I'm like, this is nice shit. This is, if I was a kid, this is what I would have want to walk into, right? So
That's why I like accent walls. Accent walls are, you see the crisp
see, I
cut
don't.
lines.
I rather do the whole room that color. Why just one wall?
Well, it's kind of cool what we're doing with our farm. We're doing it Marrakesh accent wall. Now that's cool.
What color? What's it like?
It's a warm gray. Warm
gray. Same color we did in Garage Yorkdale.
Okay.
And it's
So essentially where we're putting in fireplaces into the bedrooms, the backdrop of the fireplace will be in Marrakesh. So behind the TV, the fireplace, because we're doing a TV above each fireplace. But it's also, like in the living room, we could have done stone on the wall. Marrakesh is expensive, way more cost effective than doing
And
stone.
Yeah.
and it looks nice.
Plus, it's going to look beautiful morning, noon, and night.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to
And we
have
just-
3 different looks.
And we just put in these amazing huge windows. So when the light comes in and hits it in the different angles, it's going to look gorgeous.
See, that's common sense construction to me, man.
Because you got to decide what kind of look. So the look inside of our farmhouse, we're doing it in an elegant look. Tasteful, elegant, not busy. So you got to choose what you want to choose, right?
What are you putting on the floor?
It's a darker wood. It's very
Yeah.
nice. And then I took it to, I use a specialty wood store where I bring them 2 boxes of wood and they make all the vents, all the return vents,
Nice.
all the nosing out of the same flooring. Don't need to stain. It's installed with the flooring.
Nice.
It matches perfectly. And it's 7, it's almost 8 inch.
8-inch wide boards? You gluing and nailing down, or you
Yeah.
just, yeah? It's going to look nice.
And then 8-inch baseboards.
8-foot ceilings or 9-foot ceilings? 8-foot ceilings.
We got on the main floor, it's either between 9 and 10. Second floor is 8 to 9. And then the attic, because it's like a dip roof, but we designed it tastefully in the attic as well, just to allow as much space up there as possible. And then all the doors that are going for the bedrooms are all 7-foot doors.
Nice. Solid.
Solid.
1 3/4 thick.
Yeah.
Or what? Yeah. Heavy. 3 hinges.
That's right.
Black hardware, or are you guys going?
We'll see what our dad says.
Probably
Because I tried to do the black windows on the outside.
Is he going to bring the JBL speaker and start playing the Sade?
Oh yeah, there you go.
The whole discography there, man. Just playing her whole thing. She's got some classic tracks, man.
Oh, yeah.
Got some bangers.
They're actually coming up today. They're taking a look. All the roof is on now, and now my roofers are there right now. They're putting all the fascia, heat trough, downspouts on right now, and we matched the window color with fascia, heat trough, everything blends in beautifully, and then
I can
different
see
color.
it. I can totally see it. Yeah.
So it's like a cashmere color.
Yeah. It's nice.
I thought black would look cool too, but it's a 150-year-old farmhouse, poured concrete.
It could work, but it'd have to be done a certain way too as well. No, I know what you're saying.
But with the cream, it looks really nice because it's going to look really elegant, especially now if you want to go a little bit bolder, the light fixtures on the outside we can do in black. Or you could even do it in like a brass, which will look cool too.
Go rose gold.
Yeah.
All right, so one question for both of you guys and 2 different answers, I guess. If you got a young punk coming up into the painting world, running a business, what's the biggest lesson that you could teach them? And operating like on site, what's the biggest lesson you could teach them?
You want to go? I'm still thinking about this one.
So they have
well,
they're a solo painter. Or
They're
they have
solo
their own
paint.
thing.
No, they're a solo painter. They're just going, listen, I want to become a painter. They don't want to be a Civic painter, right? Like Honda Civic painter. They want to actually have a legitimate business. So, I mean, we know that the business part of any construction business is far more important than the skill part. I'm not diminishing the skill part. I'm just saying that without the business being properly organized, that construction business doesn't run.
So my thing is in the trades, if you're young and you're learning, take the time to go under somebody's wing, learn. Even if you're not going to make the money then, you're going to get the return and then. Like, I'll give you an example. We eventually at our farm, we want to open a small brewery, and there's already a gentleman up nearby who's already doing it. I've already done a walkthrough. I'm going to be able to go in and work with him on site, but I'm not doing it for any money. I'm going for free because he's going to teach me the skill set, which in the end, it's going to work out. So if you can go under somebody who has a lot of experience, not necessarily on the painting side, maybe on the business side or whatever you need to learn on, use them as your mentor.
Yep.
Don't try and be like, I want to get money from this. Do it where I'm learning. They're going to give me the skills where I don't have to pay for those skills. And now it will help my business more.
There's a great quote: "The man that enjoys the journey will go farther than the man that enjoys the destination."
Of course.
You got to enjoy the journey.
And you got to put the right people around you. Like our team of guys that are working right now, most of them paint better than me, but I deal with the side of things that I know what I'm good at. So you got to put.
But you guys had a hand with that. I'm going to just interrupt. But you guys had a hand with teaching them how to paint better than you, right?
Well, no, not necessarily. Like one of our main guys, he's 34 now.
Okay.
And he's been painting since he was 15.
So he perfected his craft, right?
I can't paint like him.
Yeah,
I never taught him. But we work hand in hand where he's on site. He supervises part of our team, and we trust in him, but he also trusts in us to bring the business side to make sure he's always working. So everybody goes hand in hand. It's a harmony, and you got to surround yourself with the people that know what they're doing. Like for our social media, we're not good at filming, so we have a team that takes care of that for us.
There's got to be zero ego in it, right? When you're learning.
Yeah, no
You
ego.
got to learn, man. You don't know
learn,
everything. Simple.
You can't. If you know how to paint, do you know the business side? Do you know the videography side? Do you know this side? No, right? So when you got to put your
Find
ego
the team.
aside, exactly.
Find the team.
Or even when you're learning, the guy that he was talking about that that's been painting for 15 years, I'm still learning stuff from him, right? And it's a pleasure learning from him.
The ego people that we get sometimes who come in who believe like they're the shit, check that shit at the door. Nobody is the shit in this industry. The right mindset is, can you always learn? Because there's always more to learn, rather than I'm the best.
I can give you a hand with the consumption of that brewery if you want a hand with that. I can shadow you there, right? So
there you go. Yeah.
if I polish off 4 Guinnesses last night, do I have a problem?
think you're qualified,
Or
yeah.
does that make you Irish? Which one is it, man?
Well, we are Irish, so.
I was actually surprised that I polished off 4. I was craving it. I haven't had it in a while, and I was like, man, this tastes so good.
So I was with a good friend of mine. He's in the construction industry as well, and we had them over for dinner, him and his wife, and I took them to that brewery, and the owner was there. We got so it's a cool farm brewery. It's nearby Meaford.
Tastes different, man.
And so he's doing the old school brewery. It's no steel vats. It's all wood barrels.
Oh.
And we just had this wonderful strawberry ale last night.
What's the name of it?
It's Stillfields.
Whereabouts is it?
Meaford. So if you go west of Thornbury and just before you hit the town of Meaford,
Nice.
it's a farm. I think there's 6th generation farmers up there. But where they have the brewery is the land is too small for them to farm. So he's like, why not? Let's just open a brewery. And so if you have a farm and you grow on your farm, as long as you're growing at least 4 acres, you don't need a liquor license. You bypass all the rules and you can sell to the general public.
Before the pandemic, I was offered by a client, a previous client that I did a couple of jobs for, and they were considering buying some place way up north there. But the cool thing about this property that they want to buy and the land and everything is that there was an old coffee roastery. Roastery, is that the right term?
Yeah, roastery, yeah.
And he wanted me to rebuild that building, and they were going to open it up into an actual operating business. And I was like, man, I really want this job. And they got outbidded by someone that just came in, snuck in, and just gave them a drop dead price, and they just bought it. And I was like, fuck, I really wanted to build that coffee shop there, man. Like that whole, I would have loved to have done that, but I didn't know. That was like, so doing a brewery with wood barrels, fuck, that would have been amazing.
It's so good.
Oh, it was amazing, man.
Oh, the beer that they have there is fantastic. It's not a ripoff. It's a cool spot.
It's quenching.
Yes.
For all you alcohol drinkers and you guys have problems, I can't help you with that. Gentlemen, what's the deets again? Let's get to the 12 questions so we can wrap it up. What's it? How to get a hold of everybody again?
Brother Bears Painting, Instagram. Brother Bears Painting, TikTok. Brother Bears Painting Threads now because
You guys are doing the Threads? I thought Threads like dropped 70% after the first week.
I don't know. We're on there because you never know. Some new fucking social media is opening up again, and now you got to post on all
the Zuckerberg AI.
Yeah.
Is it him or is it an AI? I think he looks like a robot.
Oh,
these
and then
days.
we got LinkedIn as well,
Okay.
I guess.
Under Brothers Bears.
Brother Bears, yeah.
And the website is www.brotherbears with an S.
Yeah,
Still under construction though.
Still under construction.
because we're always under construction.
Gotta
We're
get,
always working.
Gotta get
on
it painted at least,
Yeah,
man.
there you
and
go.
Finish it up, man.
Primed. It's already primed. We're just waiting for the.
How long can you prime something and just leave it that way?
I don't know. Ask a homeowner or the landlord special. They'll say they just painted it even though it was primer.
That prime finish.
I mean, you could tint your primer, and there you go.
That
It's
prime
finished,
finish,
yeah.
but that ain't gonna work. But it's true. A homeowner landlord special, man. Gentlemen, you ready for the 12 questions?
Let's go.
What's your favorite construction word?
What's the one in another day or no? We'll get it done in next week.
Just another day.
Just another day.
Just another day. That's both yours.
I don't know.
That's
I guess
mine.
so. We're the Bears, so I guess we got to have the
What's your least favorite construction word?
least favorite construction word. More money.
Is it more money or more money?
More money.
More money.
Or more time.
More time. What turns you on in construction?
Good people.
Or you
Good clients.
I would say in the construction industry, my favorite part of it is that it's still fun. It's not run by HR. You can still have a good time, play some music. You got to enjoy the time while you're there. So we enjoy with everybody who we work with. So when I show up on the job site, I have fun with everybody.
But your vehicle has paint splatter inside, and your vehicle doesn't have any paint pattern.
Oh, I have a lot of paint splatter.
Oh, he spilled a whole pail inside the van.
That oil paint. I was like, why the?
Inside the van?
Yeah.
Not
Down.
the back?
No.
How'd you
It
spill
seeped into the trunk.
Yeah.
That sucks.
And it smells like
oil?
Oil. And I was like, why the hell does it smell like oil? Now I drive with the windows down.
But
you
we'd
know?
rather have it happen in the car than in
Of
somebody's
course,
house.
Totally. What turns you off in construction?
Oil paint. Oil paint.
Oil paint?
Clients booking all the trades in on the same day.
Yeah, stuck in that shit. What's your favorite curse word, gentlemen?
I like a good damn. Or good shit, you know?
I'd say cunt.
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
You're Irish.
Yeah.
What's your favorite vehicle in the entire world? Not the oil one.
It's a really weird one. I like the Golf R.
The Golf R?
Yeah. Is it the Golf R?
GTI?
Volkswagen?
GTIR?
It's the Volkswagen, yeah, GTI.
Yeah.
It's a GTI. Is it like a special
That's
edition
your
or something?
favorite car.
That's
though.
my favorite car.
GTIR?
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to make sure. It's
Double check it. I know the GTI. Like, I mean, I still got respect for the Volkswagen Golf GTI. Like at that one, I love the Corrado. I like the Scirocco. Like those were all good cars. They're not around anymore. But what's yours, Cameron?
Aston Martin Vantage Sport.
You know what though? It's the new one. Is it the new one? No, it's the DB.
That's the DB.
Yeah.
DB11. That's a different model.
It's kind of nice, man.
It's just elegant.
It's very
like when
elegant.
you paint a house to make it look elegant.
It does look very. It's you know what? You can see the craftsmanship in that.
Like
vehicle.
I don't like the new Jaguar, but the old Jaguar F-Type with the
Yes.
huge hood.
Yes,
I
yes.
just saw that in Creemore yesterday.
Okay.
Gorgeous.
What color? Green.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
It's a GT.
fantastic. It's just like like you want to wear a suit getting into that car. Like you're gonna respect it. You know what I mean?
I loved how, if you guys ever watched Grand Tour, how the boys, they were doing Jaguar edition or whatever, and all of a sudden they're like, listen, when you drive a Jaguar, it allows you to do certain things. And they walk into a hotel and they're stealing all these things because they drive a Jaguar. So they're walking out with like the robes and the towels and all the color.
Well, the Jaguar is meant to be the villain car in the movies.
Exactly,
And
right?
Aston Martin is the good guy.
Yeah, the
James
hero.
Bond, yeah.
It's the GTI.
But sometimes
It's
you
the GTI, right? But there's no R on it.
there is an R.
Oh, there is an R.
I don't
The
like the
faster
R.
one.
I don't like the R. I just like the GT.
You like the GTI, exactly.
Listen, I drive that big van. It gets scary driving that around
What is
the
it,
city.
Transit or a Sprinter?
Dodge Caravan.
Dodge
Dodge
Caravan.
Caravan? That's a big van to you, a Dodge
That's a big
Caravan?
van to me.
Well, he's new at driving.
I don't have
so-
a backup camera. I don't know how. I can't gauge the distance. So it's a little bit
You got to
tricky for
learn
me.
the size of your car.
Exactly. Least favorite vehicle in the entire world.
The fucking, what was it? The Cube? Fucking.
The Nissan Cube.
I think it was
yeah.
the Cube. Is stupid with the hamsters. They did the hamster
So that's the
commercial.
Kia Soul.
That's the one.
That's the
I don't know.
Kia
Both of them are
I
stupid.
hate this
Or
stupid
know what was
ass.
stupid? That Ford Flex bullshit.
No, I hate the.
Oh, the Ford Flex. Yeah, they had wood paneling on one model.
I think so. Ugly.
brilliant.
I think
hate the-
Homer Simpson designed it or something.
I hate the GLK. Is it the
GLK?
Well, they have a
Are you
new
talking
one
about
now.
Jetta?
No, GLK is the Mercedes.
The
It's more like
Mercedes.
a
Here,
small
let me-
box.
Oh, the
one.
little tiny hatchback thing or whatever.
Let me
No,
show
it
you.
was like a smaller SUV.
Okay, I know what you're talking about.
GLK.
It had a weird shape. It had a
Or no,
really-
it's ugly. The Volkswagen Bug.
the revised one.
Just all of them in
All of
general.
them?
I mean, the old one, it was the cheapest car to just get car parts and repair because you could just pull it off and put a new one.
This one. Like, who's driving that?
Yeah, it's that little tiny.
Who's driving
They
that?
don't make that one anymore.
It's just a very
Yeah, they don't make it anymore.
yeah. It's a very yeah. I'm not with it.
It's a Benz. What construction sound or noise do you guys love?
When you dip in the brush and you're like smacking it against the side.
The sound of spraying because we know progress is happening.
Progress. What construction sound or noise do you guys hate?
Probably, it's because I don't like the sound because it relates to smell. Is the cutting of the wood on the
Wait,
the
you don't like the
table saw?
cutting of the? I
Nah.
love the smell.
I hate the smell.
Oh my goodness! You
Smell
don't
of
like the
wood?
smell of wood?
The smell of wood?
I love it. Right now,
No, I
you
can't
walk
do
into
it.
the farm right now. It
Yes.
smells of wood.
How-
It's
and you don't
great.
like that smell
Nah.
of wood?
Nah.
What's yours?
Worst sound? I would say when it's like when there's a plumbing issue, when water happens, water damage, and we know we're gonna stay at the site longer.
You start seeing paint.
Well, we just we're on a
Pop
site.
it.
We're on a we just finished a custom home. The builder forgot, and he's the homeowner. He forgot to turn on the sub pump in the basement.
Oh, that's happened.
That was wild. And then another client of ours, where she's kind of like project managing, her AC busted and leaked 3 floors in her townhouse.
Oh, that's
all
not
the
even the
drywall.
worst with the air duct.
Oh
The
my
air duct?
god! Yeah.
You
So
talking
by-
about the ductless units,
No,
right?
by accident, when they put in the drywall, they didn't cut out for any of the vents.
So they're just creating condensation, man.
Well, now they had to find where the holes are because the drywall was already put up.
Oh, how do they not? Nobody took any progress pics of like. So I've always taken progress pics of all
All the time.
mechanical terminations
Yeah.
where they're supposed to be, because if they forget something, it's
Always.
bad enough they forget an outlet. Like that, you can see if you look down the wall and you see that bump there. But when it comes to mechanical, man, no, you got to take a picture. Okay. What profession other than your own would you guys like to attempt one day?
So I like carpentry because I've done some of it, like baseboard install, flooring I've done. But I'm not a professional, so like at our
You're
farm,
learning.
at our farm, I have a professional doing the flooring because I believe you hire the professional that's in their trade. He only does flooring.
I do jiu-jitsu on the side, so maybe something in jiu-jitsu.
Where are you
Teaching.
training?
I train at Henzo Gracie's.
Where's that at?
It's a new gym right at Yorkdale.
Okay.
Yeah, shout out to Henzo Gracie's Toronto. York Martial Arts
Cool.
is the name. You can find them on Instagram. Great gym. They just opened up. So
Whereabouts in New York, too?
it's right off of. Let me find it.
Like off of Dufferin?
Yeah, off of Dufferin. It is. It is. I
Find
know
it
the
so everyone
street.
can join it.
It's the address is it's Bridgeland, right? It's on.
Oh, I know where
Bridgeland.
Bridgeland is.
287
Bridgeland is the same street where Raytex is.
Yeah.
Raytex Electrical. They're on that Bridgeland road.
Yeah.
there.
So the
Yeah.
professor I train with, his name is Darson Hemmings.
Okay.
One of the most.
Canadian guy or is he
He's Jamaican,
Jamaican?
but raised in Canada.
Yep.
He's one of the most prestigious jiu-jitsu athletes in Canada. So shout out to him and all the team that I train with. They're
Always
amazing.
looking for students?
Always looking for students. Always looking for people to train with. Super warm, awesome gym. So
Also-
York Martial Arts.
Shout out to Mirage Media, who takes care of all our media for us.
Cool.
Pictures, videos, everything.
They do everything that we see.
Everything. Film
What
everything.
was your profession?
I was in sales and marketing, direct sales before.
No. What profession other than
Oh.
your own would you like? He wants to be, yeah.
I said I would do carpentry.
Sorry, carpentry. That's right. What profession would you guys not like to do?
Plumbing.
Plumbing. Yep. Yeah.
Both of them?
Maybe new construction plumbing, no problem. But old plumbing, fuck that.
Discovery and shit?
Yeah, no.
Literally?
Discovery Channel.
Or maybe I would say either drywall or mudding and taping, just because I did mudding and taping, and
But it's part of your scope. Sometimes it's all of your scope.
That's right. I mean, I helped out with a job project on Bathurst downtown, and the plumbers were there, and the pipe, they cut it open and just poured out on them.
Fuck, that's just rough. But back to the drywall. Do you guys own any Darbies?
No,
Okay,
I don't think
all
we
right,
do. No,
good. You should. You as painters, you shouldn't.
no.
Right, but I've heard of painters who actually own some Darbies, and they should.
So we stay away from, like, we have guys that do mudding and taping. So if it's required, we bring
them in.
a drywall finisher in.
But homeowners will expect you guys to take care of it.
And I say,
you're already here.
I say no.
Just
that's
skim it for
That's
me,
a drywall
please.
finisher.
Yeah, that's what.
So the whole point of now, we know a bunch of different trades that are kind of involved at the same time we're in there, whether that's drywall finishing, flooring, baseboard. So a lot of clients will get burnt. So we help them and give them guys that we trust that will take care of the job and do a good job, because we want, if they do a good job, we can do a good job.
Of course.
Everybody follows after you. So if the framer did a shit job, the drywaller can't do a great job, the taper can't do a great job. It all starts from the first person who hits that house.
Yeah.
Don't cheap out on the fucking labor.
It's hard.
Pay for
though,
quality.
when it comes to homeowners.
Oh, yeah.
It's hard. Last question, gentlemen. If heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at those pearly gates? And I hope he doesn't say Chantilly lace.
you go first.
Welcome home.
You did a good job.
Gentlemen, man, thanks so much. I'm so glad you guys made the time to come back and I actually finally meet you. We've only talked on text and DMs, I guess, the
that's
whole
right.
time. But wish you guys all the best, man.
Thank you.
Hopefully you guys continue to expand and get more bears into the business and keep on painting, doing your thing, man.
That's it.
Sweet.
Thanks, man.
Thank
All right,
you.
Share
Thank
the deets again. So it's Brother Bears on IG.
Brother Bears Painting IG, Brother
That's
Bears
it.
Painting TikTok, Brother Bears Painting Threads, Brother Bears Painting LinkedIn, website shortly, Brother Bears Painting.
Email to get a hold of you guys. Info.
Right now it's just Brother Bears Painting Official at gmail.com.
Okay.
And then if you go to our Instagram, we have both our phone lines, office line,
Right
as
there.
well as our
So easy to get a hold of
estimate
you
line
guys,
as
right?
well. Yeah.
I like the estimate light. I like that. So, but you guys are giving estimates over the phone?
We do estimates either in person or as long as we get floor plans, we can do
Then you
based
can
on
price
floor
it
plans.
at that point, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Gentlemen, thank you so much, man.
Awesome.
Thank you.
We're out of
Thank
here.
you.
Thank you, Angeline.